Welcome to the Real Estate and Chill podcast, the newest and coolest podcast. So tune in. Two experts discussing the real estate market. Loan officer James Chaudhry and associate real estate broker Kevin Iglesias. Beware, this is not another boring podcast. This right here is the shit you need to hear. Respectfully.
Welcome. This is the Real Estate and Chill podcast. I'm your host, Kevin Iglesias, licensed associate real estate broker with my beautiful co-host.
Oh, I thank you. My name is James Chaudhry. I am a loan officer. We are, United Mortgage based out of Woodbury, New York. This is a crazy setup. Special shout out to EPM Real Estate Photography and Eagle Eyes Home Inspection for this awesome setup. This is awesome. This is our first episode, and they did this all for us.
Amazing.
So.
Yeah. Big shout out to Arcar who made this all happen. This love and support. We're so excited to be shooting our first video, first episode. So we really want to give the people this real estate information and let them know why we started the podcast.
Yeah.
Can you touch base on that?
Sure. So, honestly, we saw a little space in the market where, there's a lot of young people who are looking to get into real estate. They don't know where to start. And we kind of wanted to make a way for you to watch an episode once a week, once every other week, just so you can learn more about real estate. With social media on the rise, we thought this is the perfect time to start everything up. And, we have both sides, but we have, a leading professional in the real estate industry. We have myself, so we're trying to hit both sides of it. And at the end of the day, we're going to be bringing more people onto the podcast as well, So
we'll be interviewing like attorneys, lawyers, Eagle Eye Home Inspections.
Yes.
EPM Real Estate Photography, real estate agents as well.
Yeah.
Everybody who's basically related in that real estate field is who we'll be talking to.
We need to make an all-inclusive package. Like, we need to have everything. We're going to have so many people on here. We're just looking to inform and spread knowledge, because that's what people really need to hear right now. So there's a lot of people that are looking to get into it, don't know where to start. We're trying to fill that gap.
Exactly.
So,
but just touch base, James, people are going to want to know who you are, how you started. So let's dive into that.
So going back to day one. So, I was a freshman at Binghamton University. I was actually a political science major, and I was looking to, I was thinking about going into business, not sure where I wanted to go, and I was actually just looking for internships. One of my best friends, his name is Max Rosenblum, he was like, my dad owns United Mortgage, he runs the company. He was like, if you want an internship, come on by, we'll hook you up. So big shout out to my man, Max. Yo, hit the button, hit the clapping button. Applause button. So he started me off, which was great.
So that's how you basically got plugged into United Mortgage.
Exactly. And from there, I've been working there since. So it's been in the industry for almost 4 years now, which is crazy.
What was your previous job before you dived into?
I don't even want to go into that. All right. So when I was in high school, I worked at, a library that was near my house. And it has nothing to do with real estate, but it was just like my first job. So this is like my first real job. And I love the industry. It's an industry where you can, help people. You have a lot of opportunity to network around. And as long as you like what you're doing, it's a good field to be in. What about you? So how did you get started in everything?
So before real estate?
Yeah, before. No, actually, you know what? Tell me before real estate and then transition me into, how you got here.
So before real estate, I was working at a job. The corporation that I was at, we just didn't see eye to eye.
Oh, okay.
So I basically, parted ways.
Got fired. Yeah.
Basically. But I think that was the biggest blessing in my life, because it really lighted a fire. And I just started to pursue real estate. And
nice.
I wasn't doing anything else part-time. I just really dived in it full-time. So it was basically, this is my only plan A. I didn't have a plan B. So I had to make this work.
Gotcha. And look where it took you. So that's awesome. What would you say right now? What would you say to yourself? All right. So how long have you been in the industry?
So my first deal, I looked it up on Zillow in my MLS. My first deal was 4/20/2016.
2016. Okay. So we started like roughly around the same time.
Yeah. A little less than 5 years. So 5 years next month.
Nice. Okay. All right. So you are where you are now.
Mm-hmm.
If you can go back in time and tell yourself, if you have like 10 minutes to talk to yourself from when you first started, what would you say to yourself?
I would slap myself and tell myself to, work harder. Because I think when you're really starting off, I think it's the fear that's really holding you back. You know, fear of being rejected, fear of being told no, knocking on doors. I've knocked on doors where people curse me out.
Really?
Yeah, curse me out. People have sicked their dogs on me.
Oh my gosh.
People have just like cursed me out on the phone, hung up. So I think the fear of rejection, you really have to get over.
Yeah.
And then you'll just start to like, and you get what you put in. So
Yeah.
you have to really, really hustle
Yeah.
to see the results.
Honestly, I think you hit that, nail on the head. I think that for myself personally, like when I first started off, everything I was doing was, just set around networking. So, as you might be calling clients, going to houses, trying to get listings, stuff like that in the beginning, my whole thing was I was trying to reach out to people like you, who were realtors, and that's actually how we met.
Yeah,
So-
how do we meet?
So basically what happened was I was actually, cold calling realtors off Zillow. That's actually how I started everything. How I got the business that I have today. And I was just cold calling realtors, and I called Kevin. He always just like, yeah, I'm going to call you back later. All right, yeah, we'll make meetings later. But the thing was, like, I had nothing to lose. So I was like, all right, I'm going to keep going at it, and I'm going to keep trying to, set up a meeting with him, try to meet with him and, like, get his business, tell him about what we're about and stuff like that. So thankfully, it worked out.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, I would always blow you off because I was like, I don't want to meet this guy. I don't want to meet this guy. And you kept calling me and calling me and calling me, and I was just like, you know what? I respect the consistency because the business that we're in, we
Yeah.
have to follow up. So I was like, I'll give this guy a shot, and then the rest is history.
yeah, and now we're doing multiple different things, including starting our own podcast together. So that's
again,
awesome.
big shout out to EPM, Real Estate Photography,
Yes.
Arcar, Brian, Mike, Freddie, Amber, the whole team. Amazing, amazing staff.
How much did we put them through? We've been asking them questions like every single day.
Arcar's in the room now, just holding his head. He's balding here, so a lot of stress. But I love that guy. So that's another thing is that being in this business, having the support behind you is so big.
Yeah.
Having people that see your vision and support it, that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. No, I definitely hear you. So, I wanted to, touch base on one thing. So, what are your goals for the future? Where's Kevin Iglesias? Where do you want to be in 10 years from now?
All right. So as you know, I started 4 years ago, about to be 5. So all my business was just door knocking, cold calling, referrals, open houses. I was never on social media, and you kept pressuring me like, "Yo, making IG, making IG."
You just
making
got
Instagram."
on.
Yeah, everybody basically in the room was telling me, "Yo, get on." So I'm building a team now. I'm training new agents. You've met them.
Yeah.
And I'm really just gonna basically explode the business. You know what I mean? I'm just
Nice.
gonna take my business and just multiply it. So that's my goal. I'm training new agents now, so I definitely want them to shine as well. And you've met Ernest. We'll have
Yeah.
Ernest on the show.
Yeah.
Ernest is doing phenomenal now.
Yeah.
He's got 2 listings back to back, literally neighbors.
That was
Multiple
crazy. We were there
offers.
this weekend.
Yeah.
And the lines were out the door. So it was crazy. And when we the open house was supposed to go from 12 to 2, at 2:00, we were like thinking like, do we have to cut off the line because we can't be here all day? We had things to do after. So it was really crazy. And Ernest is doing a really good job right now. He's definitely, I think with real estate, the biggest thing is like when you're going into a job that requires experience, like, myself, I have a finance degree. I went to college. I transferred from Binghamton to Baruch. When things started kicking off in the mortgage industry, just so I can start, working here full time, doing what I wanted to do. And I did finish my degree. But the thing is, I feel like I've learned more, about just like, I know it's a vague term of business, but I've learned more about like the whole, realm of business through, working in the industry than when you're comparing it to actually being in school. I mean, I know it's 2 different things. 'Cause it's a finance degree compared to like,
I mean, I could definitely basically, chime in that as well. When you see on TV, like people showing 3 houses, then it's offer accepted. That's not
Yeah.
how it works
yeah,
at all. There's so much more behind the scenes that you guys don't see. I thought it was easy as well watching those shows too, but there's so much legwork that goes behind it, and
Yeah.
things can go left really, really quick.
and people don't really see that. I feel like.
Yeah,
It's not that stuff isn't published. Like I feel like when people think of real estate, think of like all the
glitz,
glamour,
the
everything like
money.
that. They don't see the back end picture
Yeah.
of like
It's so much stress.
everything that you have to do to get
Yeah.
your client from the start to the finish line.
I mean, I have
So.
so much gray hair now that I didn't have 4 years ago, but
The
You know-
one thing I'm never gonna forget is about like a month and a half ago or 2 months ago when you got married. Like, what happened? You were at an open house the day before, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. That's dedication. That's what you need.
Yeah, I mean, even on the day I was getting married, I was on my phone just like, I gotta lock this deal in. I gotta lock this deal in. But like, honestly, to really survive in this business, you really need to like breathe, eat, sleep real estate. If
Yeah.
not, it's just you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You just really, really have to be 100% in.
So walk me a little bit through of what your week looks like.
So I mean, I set everything up on my iPhone calendar. I set up all my appointments.
You do like the time blocking?
Yeah. Sometimes it looks like double booked.
Yeah.
Insane. But the market that we're in is completely, it's insane. Nobody thought that this would happen. Everybody thought, when COVID was coming, that the market was going to crash.
Yeah.
I had so many investors that were buying properties, they pulled out of them because the market was going to crash. But it did
Okay.
the total opposite. I mean, you see these COVID open houses, the lines are out the door. We did one in, I can't say the town,
Yeah.
but that open house, there was people trying to come in the open house with their pit bull.
Oh,
Big pit
oh
bull.
my gosh. Don't
And,
even get me started on that. So, if I may, I want to go into, what I do at open houses. So basically, we have Kevin inside. Ernest is there. Ernest is there from time to time as well. Basically, what I do is I'm outside, just like talking to the clients, just making sure everything's okay, everyone's in line, everything's good. If they have any financing questions, they ask me.
Yeah.
So at this one open house, this lady just comes out of her car with a pit bull. And like, listen, I love dogs, but like the thing is, she was just like, it was just like a loose, like she was holding it with a leash, but it was just like walking, like it was controlling her. And it was like coming at me. And you know what I did? At that moment, I was like, you know what? This is great. I'm going to wait in my car until she leaves. Did she go into the open house with the dog?
No, not with the dog. No, not with the dog.
I was waiting in my car. I didn't even see it. I don't even know.
But that's a great negotiation tool. I mean, if
Yeah,
you really want the
scared
house,
me.
you bring your pit bull, and everybody else just runs out the door.
Don't even get me started on what else happened at the house. So I'm scared
on that
of bees.
block, yeah, there was so many bees by the front door. You're like, can I come in? I was like, no, stay outside.
There were so many people there, and there was like literally a bee the size of like, I would say like, camera's gonna see this like probably like this big, like literally
Huge.
Yeah,
Huge.
and I don't even know like, they were like coming at me. Some people at the open house were just like, can you kill that bee? I was just like, nah, I can't.
Not messing with the bees.
I'm not. He was like, can you step on this? You have shoes. I was just like, I'm not going near any bees. I don't want to die, so I'm fine with that.
What are your future goals? How old are you? First,
So I'm 22. I've been.
you look 32.
It's because I gained some weight. Yo, the start of this podcast, you're gonna see me. I'm like,
I don't mean to interrupt you, but you have like the best eyebrows in the game. Yo, look at this. Can you like zoom into this guy's eyebrows? They're like furry caterpillars, bro. They're like perfectly.
I'm probably one of the only guys that openly say I do get them done, because if I don't get them done, my eyebrows are really like this big. I don't know. It's just my
You got the
genetics.
Drake eyebrows.
Whatever, I'll take it. But what were you asking me? Okay, what are my goals for the future?
So you're 22.
I'm 22. I've been working in the mortgage industry while I've been in school, like since my freshman year, summer of my freshman year. So I started full time in August, and a lot of people actually didn't even know that, because I kind of just like, you can do more than one thing at once. And I know it was difficult to do, but I was chasing two different things at the same time. I wanted to get my degree. I wanted to, capitalize on the mortgage industry.
Did you
'cause
graduate?
I did graduate.
Okay.
I graduated cum laude. So, had the degree was difficult. It was very hard. There was a lot of nights where I was working, and then coming home studying for my test that was like a few days away. So it's something that's difficult, but you could still do it. And I'm sure there's a lot of students who are in college right now who are thinking like, can I go into real estate while being in school? I would say yes. What would you think?
I mean, I think it's all really time management. So when COVID hit, it did two things, right? You know this. It basically, people were saying, I can't do anything because of COVID. My business just plummeted. Or it really lighted that fire and said, you know what? I'm really going to work my butt off and skyrocket. And
Yeah.
like, again, it goes back to that fear thing. What are you going to do when your back's against the wall? 2020, thank God, was my best year. Even with COVID, I did over 50 transactions real estate wise.
Wow. Yeah.
So, it all depends on who the person is.
Changed so much since I met you. So basically, when I first met Kevin, you were at like what? Like you were at like, I think like eight in a year. Like that's where you were at.
Yeah.
And now, I mean, look, like the amount of work you put in is what you get out of it. So, it's definitely inspiring to see you make such big movements in such a little time. So
Talking about seeing, things grow from the ground up, like these guys here, literally, my first photo shoot basically it was with Brian, and then Arcar shot one of my first shots in Bayshore.
okay,
And
so
I was
I've
like, yo,
seen
this
their
is-
work. It's crazy.
It's amazing. But I was like, this is guy. I was telling Brian, I was so pissed. I was like, yo, why is Arcar at my shoot? Does he know how to shoot photography? I was so pissed. And but these guys have literally just grown so much. It's so cool. Now they have their own office, podcast room, office here in Ronkonkoma. So
Yeah.
it's pretty dope. And they've done 2020. They did over 2,500 jobs. 2670.
Wow.
Bas-
2670.
I-
Okay.
Honestly, like I've worked with a lot of real estate photography companies, but they're the best, hands down.
Yeah.
Hands
wouldn't-
down.
I wouldn't go any other way.
And they do all over, like Nassau County, Suffolk County, Queens, the boroughs. Like they'll just
Not only that, but just like social media videos as well, because that's something that's big right now too.
yeah.
You see a lot
it's
of people.
definitely booming.
I mean, honestly, as people who are like trying to get in front of as many people as possible, I think social media really capitalizes on the fact that you could just get seen by so many people. It's just my favorite way to market right now, and what I'm spending a majority of my time on. Some
Social
people,
media?
yeah, social media. Some people think that it's not worth it, but I would say think about it. If you're sending out like 1,000 postcards,
Yeah.
how much are you spending to do that? You know what I
Probably
mean?
like a good. I would say like a good anywhere like 2 to 350 maybe.
Okay, if you're spending $350 on social media marketing, you
I feel like it'll just take you so much.
reach out to
further.
Ankar and Brian, get a video going, start promoting it, spend $100 on promotions, you'll reach, I don't know, I think it's different from place to place,
Right.
but in Long Island, like you'll reach like 5 times that easily, everything inclusive.
Yeah,
So-
I agree.
And
definitely
I
agree.
think it's just I don't know if it's just as good, but if your goal is to reach as many people as possible and then bring them to your Instagram page, so they can see what you do, that's just a good way of doing it. That's what I like best, personally. So
What would you say was your hardest deal real estate wise that you just like? I can't wait to close this out.
honestly, I wouldn't say there's so many. I feel like in my industry, it's either like your clients are they're working with you, everything you need, they get it for you on time. I would say that the biggest thing that, a client could do wrong is that, if I'm asking for something now, they wait a long time to get it back to me on it. If there's issues, a deal that we had together with the solar panels.
Oh yeah, man. Those things are so complicated with the solar panels.
Yeah.
If they're owned, it's a different story. If they're leased, it's totally different. You just,
So that's actually the only deal that I've ever had that's been in contract and we've got an approval letter on that has not closed. So, but that wasn't because of me, obviously.
Right.
It's because of, a certain situation that happened with, that transaction. But that's the one deal that I've had, in my career that hasn't closed after we got, the approval and we got the fully executed contract on a purchase. So it was crazy. That was probably, I would have to say that would be like, the most unfortunate deal I've had. You can't really point fingers, in that situation. I know I can't really go into too much depth, but, I wouldn't say there's like good and, bad clients. It's just, how you create the relationship and, how it goes from there. What would you say?
I think my first opportunity I was given to sell a home was actually for Anthony Imbrasini. I don't know if you're familiar with him.
Yeah.
So he owns custom cleats. He designs cleats for a lot of famous athletes like Dwayne Wade and a couple other superstars. So we're actually going to have him on the show.
I'm excited for that.
Yeah, it was pretty dope. So he was a for sale by owner in, I think, 2017. And same thing with you, how we met. I was just cold calling him. He rejected me a couple times. I went to his open house. He wasn't there. His mom was there. So I just kept following up. And I remember he was going out of state. And I said, look, I'll sell the house while you're down there, which I did.
Nice.
And it was the coolest, listing appointment ever. I went there. He had 2 beers opened, signed papers, and just walked out. It was literally less than 15 minutes. And I was like, dang, my first deal. So that
Wow.
it really fueled me. You know what I mean? Because in this business, real estate wise, you got to keep having things line up. If
Yeah.
not, it's very stressful.
Honestly, I think that, when you have, X amount of closings this month, you always have to be looking at like, what am I doing to get the next month? You know, exactly what you're saying. This in my industry as well, because you have to keep prospecting. You have to, you have to keep networking. You never know what's going to happen. You can have, a ton of business today, and then, the rates can go up, and then your refi business can be gone tomorrow. So
And the market is so unexpected. I mean, right now it's a seller's market, but we do not know. There's not like a crystal ball that says, hey, in June, it's going to be a buyer's market. Like, we just don't know.
yeah,
So if you're definitely thinking of selling, now is the time.
yeah.
Can you touch base like on interest rates?
Yeah, so I can only go into so much depth that knowing a certain situation. But right now the 10-year Treasury rate has been going up, significantly in the past 2 weeks. So I would say that rates can't always stay so low. The government stimulated spending, and that's what we saw the huge drop in rates. So after after everything goes back to normal, or as normal as things can be, I am expecting rates to go back up to where they were. So I'm making sure all my clients are aware that it's you always have to be very, very quick with your movements, because one day the rates can shoot up.
I know.
I've
I've seen
it
it.
can happen, and we might need a lock that day.
Yeah.
So it's definitely something that's gonna be I think we're gonna see a steady incline up for the next like year, 2 years, whatever the case may be. But gotta capitalize on the opportunities that you have in front of you.
So we've done a lot of deals together. I mean, our business has grown tremendously, since we've been working together from the start. What really sets you guys apart from every other lender?
So I think there's a few things. One, I would say that, we do a lot to keep a relationship going. I would say that when I reach out to realtors, we don't look at everything from our own perspective per se. We want to do things where we can create a partnership where, we can both grow. So I would say that that's one thing that sets us apart. The other thing is that we are actually a bank. So, we're United Mortgage Bank. We're mortgage bankers, not mortgage brokers. So we actually service a lot of the loans that we actually originate in-house. So that's also something that, separates us a lot. And yeah, I mean, in terms of turnaround times, I actually got a commitment letter 2 weeks ago that only took me 2 days to do. 2
days?
And it was actually a client that you referred over to me. So,
Nice.
yeah, so it's, things are, we move very quickly. We have processors in-house. I could walk a few feet, speak to my processor, see what's going on with the file, ask them if there's anything I need to do, I need to get from the client. It's not like we have our processors and underwriters like in another state.
Right.
Multiple big banks have their processors and underwriters in like Virginia or like California, and they're based out of New York. So, they have to go through a whole process to speak to them.
So again, having full control of a real estate transaction is the biggest thing. Like, me as an associate broker, my thing when I tell people when I work with them is, look, I have control of the deal. If I'm on the buying side, it's my inspector, Eagle Eyes Home Inspections, right? It's my attorney. I have full control of the deal. That way, I know I'm communicating with these people, and United Mortgage, of course.
Yeah.
That way, I'm communicating with these people, and we know that it's gonna go through, and it's a smooth transaction.
Yeah.
So
I think that's the biggest thing, because at the end of the day, my goal, I have two main goals. One, to make it as effortlessly, get the loan closed as seamless as possible.
Because it is stressful.
Client.
I mean,
It
it's
is.
a lot of paperwork.
Yeah. I try to make sure the deal goes as smoothly as possible. We don't have anything that we've missed. I always try to get the majority of the information in right away. So when I get a deal in, when a client reaches out to me and said, hey, I'm looking to get pre-approved, I need to make sure that if I issue out a pre-approval, I know it's going to close. Because that's the biggest thing. What's the point of giving out a pre-approval if you're not certain that it's going to close?
Yeah, and there's so many like faulty pre-approvals out there.
Yeah.
That when you call and check up with the loan officers, like, oh no, I haven't ran credit, I haven't done this, I haven't done that, and it's just like,
it's not even a pre-approval. Yeah, at that point, like you're like people are just walking
why
around
am I going to accept
pre-quals.
this deal? Yeah, it's
Exactly.
shaky.
Yeah. So pre-quals and pre-approvals, they're completely different things. With the pre-qualification letter, it's just like, say for example, I give you a call, and we just talk about your financials, right? And basically, you're just going to tell me how much you make, whatever you have for down payment. I'm not actually verifying anything.
So it's all verbal.
Yes.
That's what a pre-qual is.
Pre-qual is just, verbal. They can maybe run your credit. They might not even. They could just say like.
So they're not
okay.
seeing any paperwork.
Exactly.
It's just
Yeah.
100% verbal.
Exactly. So I don't even go that route.
Pre-approval process is.
Pre-approval process, basically, I'm getting the doc. So say, for example, there's a W-2 employee. what I would get from them is just a driver's license, last 2 pay stubs, last year W-2s, and bank statements showing the funds for the down payment. So I make sure that we can have, we have everything we need to issue that pre-approval out, and it's basically as good as a pre-commitment, because at that point, I'm making sure that I'm getting my processor to look at everything. If we need a VOE, which is verification of employment for, we might have some people who
Right.
don't know all the terms. So we might be getting those in before we even issue out a pre-approval, because if we need to get overtime or something like that in, we need to get those VOEs out. And it might take a little bit of time, but listen, you're a realtor. Would you rather have somebody give you a deal, give you a pre-approval that's set in stone? Would you rather have somebody, just like give out a pre-approval and not, certify what's going to go on?
No, I agree. I think that that's why we work so well together, because you
Yeah.
guys really do your homework, and we really check everything out before we even submit it, and it goes through smoothly.
Yeah.
So being that we've been in the business around the same time, what 4 years ago when you started, did you really see yourself, being here where you are now, or?
Honestly, I was thinking about going into different routes, because I was thinking I wanted to test out different waters and see if I liked something better, because this was actually the first that I went into, So I haven't really experienced other things. I mean, I trade, I'm an equities trader. I trade options. I have a background in finance, so that's just something I do for myself. But with the industry I'm in right now, it's just like, one thing's for certain. I love to, communicate with other people. I like to be on the move. I don't want to be sitting down somewhere all day. So it's something that I really enjoy. What about you? Would you?
So when I started in 2016, like you said, I got fired. But honestly, like I know people say this, all the time, but it was not my fault, But like I said, that was a blessing, because that really helped me motivate myself and say,
Yeah.
all right, you know what, this plan has to work. If not, I have nothing else to fall back on. And I think that's what really, set that fire and really kept me to go on and hustle and hustle and hustle. But I don't know if you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, but that's a really,
Rob, what's his name? Rob.
yeah, I haven't read it yet. I've been just doing the audio on YouTube. But like 2 things I took out of that, because it's
Robert
not,
Kiyosaki. I think
Yeah,
that's his name,
I don't
right?
know. I don't
All right,
know.
whatever.
Don't butcher it. So, but I didn't start in this business with somebody like a mentor or anything like that, or I basically just went in by myself. I had to learn from my trials and tribulations, my mistakes, and really learn from there. So when I started in 2016, I basically like had no money. I can tell you, like, one of my worst deals, I did a rental, right? And when you sign a rental, you basically sign a lease, right?
Yeah.
So at that time, I was like, because real estate is like, image is a big thing.
Yeah.
You agree? Like,
You're a public figure where you are.
basically, so you have to look good, right? So I bought a Rolex, bro. I bought a Rolex, and that deal didn't go through, right? And I basically spent the money that I spent the money that I was gonna get from that deal, and like I had nothing to pay this guy
Is
back.
that the Rolex?
No, this is different. But that was a beautiful, two-tone gold, and
Oh wow.
but like you really need to have everything organized, because
Yeah.
like I said, things could go left really quick. So what happened with that deal was I had to freaking sell my watch to pay the
Oh.
guy back.
That's why
I
that's
didn't
not the
get-
watch.
Yeah. But I waited, I said, you know what? I learn from my mistakes, and I said, you know what? Once I get to that, I feel that success, then I'll get another one. It's materialistic. So
Yeah.
but like I said, when I started, 2 things from that point, that Rich Dad Poor Dad book, was he says 2 things. Being poor is eternal, being broke is temporary. So that's huge. You know what I mean? When I started, literally, I was like broke, but that's what motivated me to to hustle.
Yeah.
So I think that's what really helped me out. Another thing was just like, so that book is based on like 2 dads, right? Rich dad and a poor dad. He asks the poor dad, why aren't you rich? He's like, I'm not rich because I have you kids. He asks the rich dad, basically the same question. He's like, I got to get rich because I have you kids. So I think it's all a mindset.
Yeah.
And as long as you have that mindset in you, then, you can do anything you want, basically.
I mean, think about it. I think that's awesome. I think that, being in the industry that we're in, we don't have like a set salary,
There's no cap.
Exactly. Well, yeah, there's no cap, but there's also no way of, making sure that we're getting that next dollar. You know what I mean? So it's really everything that you put into it, that's what you get out. Because there's no like floor to like fall back on,
Basically.
So that's something that people have to be aware of when they get into this industry.
Yeah, it's definitely all hustle. It all depends on you, unless you have a great mentor. I do train as well, like I said. And Realty Connect USA is definitely one of the best companies, if not the best company. And I'm not saying that because I'm there. It's just, the people, the training. I wouldn't go anywhere else. But starting off it's not easy. It's hard, especially if you don't have anybody who's backing you. You just don't know what to do. So very blessed that I'm here where I am now, and that we're doing so much volume and business together.
Yeah.
I'm excited to see where this podcast goes.
Yeah.
This first episode, again, is just the introduction, letting you guys know who we are, your host, giving you some background information of, where we came from, how we started. And we're excited for episode 2. Episode 2 is going to be really good. We have really special guests coming on the show. Again, Anthony Ambrosini from Custom Cleats will be making an appearance. So anything you want to add before we close our first episode out?
So I would say, we're looking to educate. We're looking to make sure that you have the knowledge you need if you're going to be buying a home, if you want to get into real estate, if you want to get into the mortgage industry. This is something that I think it's great because think of the average commute, like 30 to 40 minutes. We want to be able to add value to your trip. I think I'm really excited to see what we can do with this podcast and want to see our feedback. If we can, change anybody's perspectives on anything, if we can get some new investors in there.
Yeah, or clarify things that people are confused on.
Yeah.
That's basically what the podcast is for, the people.
Exactly.
If they want us to touch base on a certain topic, we'll touch base on it on an episode. And I think it's going to be very interactive, and that's what we want to give. We want to feed the people real estate knowledge and information for free.
Yeah.
So
this doesn't cost a thing.
Doesn't cost anything except for us. We're paying for this room.
Yeah. It's okay. Well, we're doing this for a reason.
Yeah. So episode 1, clear, down packed. Again, special shout out to EPM, Freddie, Mike, Brian, Arcar, Amber. They made this happen. Excited for episode 2.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yep,
I can't wait.
Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like, comment, share.
Spotify as well. We're gonna be on Apple Music soon. And our Instagram, Facebook, reach out to us. And honestly, if you have any questions on anything we spoke about, we're both open to answer questions, So
100%.
And if you have any questions for the next episode, feel free to reach out. Where we're looking to, network out and answer all questions, and we're here to, educate. So I'm really happy with this. I'm happy, we took the first step.
6-6 setup.
Yes. So, all right, this is
great. It all came together lovely. All right, we'll see you guys, episode 2. Real Estate and Chill podcast.
Which cameras am I pointing to?
Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Point to that guy too, Freddie.
Yes, my man Freddie. All right, awesome.
Let's wrap it up.
All right, cue the outro.
Thank you for tuning in to the Real Estate and Chill podcast with James Chaudhry and Kevin Iglesias. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, share this with your friends, your enemies, your mother-in-law. No, seriously, this podcast is so fucking good, you might want to tell your ex. See you next time.